No one wanted to stir up trouble, so they turned their heads and ignored her. As Zhang Manlin walked to the finance office, she swore to herself, "Humin, watch how I steal your husband. You can be arrogant and pretentious in front of me, but in the end I'll make you lose everything. Huixiqian will make you wish you were dead." On his way to the city, Humin received a WeChat message from Qinjia. "Sister Mian, I heard that bitch Zhang Manlin bullied you. I saw her at the cafeteria this afternoon. She won't let her get away with it." Qinjia was furious when she heard what happened. Humin smiled slightly, put on his headphones and replied to Qinjia with a voice message. Chapter 2643. It's okay, Jia. You don't have to. Humin smiled. He didn't seem to be angry at Zhang Manlin's behavior. "How can you do that? If you don't get angry, she'll think you're easy to bully. If a tiger doesn't show its power, she'll think you're a sick cat. You're our vice director now, and even in the past you wouldn't be afraid of her. Song Yisher is so powerful, but you can handle her so well." Qinjia was a gentle woman, but even she couldn't stand it anymore. Last night she told Ni Yang about this. Ni Yang was so angry that he wanted to come to Southside to give Zhang Manlin a good scolding. "Jia, it's not about whether I'm scared or not. You have to know that a lion won't look back just because of a dog's bark. A general won't kill a fly even if he has a sword. If I keep arguing with a nobody like Zhang Manlin, then I won't have the time to deal with her." "But Sister Mian, what if she's really a threat to you? Don't raise a tiger." Qinjia was worried. "Don't worry. She's not a threat at all. Plus, I'll deal with Zhang Manlin after I'm done with Suyu." "Good. I'm relieved." Qinjia stopped asking after hearing Humin's words. Humin drove directly to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. Then he called Jiang Shaowei, and Jiang Shaowei came to pick him up. "Mian, you're going to see Lord Su, right?" "Go. I'll take you there." Jiang Shaowei had always been a psychologist hired by the Municipal Public Security Bureau. She was highly respected there. "No, I don't want to see Lord Su. So I want to see Lin Mingyu." "What the? Why do you want to see him?" Jiang Shaowei was scared out of her wits. "I want Lin Mingyu to do me a favor." "Do you know him well? It's hard to talk to him. Will he help you?" Jiang Shaowei was worried. Forensic doctors had weird tempers. Jiang Shaowei didn't think Lin Mingyu would help Humian so easily. "I don't care anymore. Let's give it a try," Humin said seriously. "Let's go then." Jiang Shaowei brought Humin to Lin Mingyu. Lin Mingyu was not in the office, and he was rarely in the office. Most of the time he was in the autopsy room dealing with corpses. He reeked of formalin. "I heard that his conditions are getting better and better." Her temper was getting weirder and weirder. When Su Yan, the head nurse of the first hospital, introduced him to Humin, he fell in love with Humin at first sight. Unfortunately, Humin and Qin Chu had already registered their marriage at that time. In other words, even if they had not registered their marriage, he would not have been Humin's cup of tea. However, this guy was stubborn and had a good impression of Humin. "Is Dr. Lin here?" Jiang Shaowei asked at the door of the office. "Dr. Lin is analyzing the data in the autopsy room." "Why are you looking for him, Dr. Jiang?" Lin Mingyu's assistant was polite to Jiang Shaowei. "Yes, it's an emergency. Can you help me contact him?" "Okay, I'll call him." As soon as she picked up her phone, the assistant pointed to the other side and shouted, "Hey, he's back." Humin and Jiang Shaowei turned their heads and saw Lin Mingyu walking over in his white coat with a stack of documents in his hand. "Dr. Lin, I want to ask you for a favor." Humin did not try to curry favor with him and directly stated his purpose of visit. Jiang Shaowei thought that Lin Mingyu would reject him directly. To her surprise, he glanced at Humin and replied calmly, "Come in." Chapter 2644. "Mian, you can go in now. When you're done, come to my office and we'll have lunch together." After Jiang Shaowei left, Humin and Lin Mingyu went into the office. The truth was, Humin didn't want to talk to Lin Mingyu. Because of what happened 4 years ago, Humin used Lin Mingyu. She obtained a lot of secrets about Song Yisher's corpse and cleared Mr. Qin's name in court. This matter, if it was anyone else, they would have an opinion about it. Humian was even prepared for Lin Mingyu to scold her or drive her away when he saw her. However, none of that happened. Lin Mingyu even let her into his office. "Have a seat." "Okay." Humin nodded and sat down. "What do you want to drink?" "Water, thank you." In a place filled with formalin, she wasn't in the mood for tea or coffee. Lin Mingyu poured a glass of water for Huamin. Tell me, what can I do for you? Lin Mingyu went straight to the point. Dr. Lin, my friend, was wrongly accused and detained by the Municipal Public Security Bureau. He was charged with intentional assault, but he didn't do it. Your friend is Suyu, right? Lin Mingyu glanced at her and asked. Huamin nodded. Suyu's case was all over the city, so it wasn't strange for Lin Mingyu to know about it. Tell me the details and see what I can do. Then Lin Mingyu took out a notepad and a black ballpoint pen, planning to write down some useful information. Huamin told Lin Mingyu the details that Suyu told her. So what can I do? Lin Mingyu asked Huamin. I think the wound on Lu Zai's wrist wasn't caused by a fruit knife because Suyu was sure he didn't do anything. When he went in, he saw the knife on the ground. Out of curiosity, he picked it up and left his fingerprints. But the municipal bureau is not that stupid. If it was not caused by a fruit knife, it would have been obvious, Lin Mingyu retorted. This is where Lu Zai is smart. I have a bold guess, Huamin said seriously. What guess? Lu Zai's wound was caused by another knife, but he is also a doctor. He knew that if he used a fruit knife to frame Suyu, the evidence might be exposed and the case might not be valid. So it is very likely that he used the fruit knife that he prepared beforehand to deepen the wound. What you're saying is that in order to frame Suyu, Lu Zai used a fruit knife to cover up the original wound so that the wound on the surface would appear as if it was caused by a fruit knife. Yes. Huamin nodded. Then this person is very smart and skilled at using a knife. Lin Mingyu was surprised. It is true that he is smart and skilled at using a knife. He is a doctor. Huamin insisted on his guess. Then this is interesting, so I want to help my friend clear his name. The first step is to start with this. What can I help you with? Just tell me. I want you to help me re-examine Lu Zai's wound. See what kind of knife wound he was hiding under the original wound. You can do it yourself, Huamian. I heard that you were given an exception for the exam, and the time you used to perform an autopsy was unbelievable. You shouldn't ask me for help, you're a medical genius yourself. Lu Zai's eyes were filled with admiration as he spoke. But I am not a forensic doctor. My results are not convincing. The municipal bureau and the judge won't accept it, but you have the right to do so, Huamin said word by word. But why should I help you? Lin Mingyu looked at him and asked calmly. Chapter 2645. For a fair and just result. For you as a forensic doctor. For you to be responsible for your work. For you to not leave a single stain on your career. For you to stick to your morals and principles. For you to live up to your noble identity as a forensic doctor, Huamin said word by word. Huamin, you win. Lin Mingyu sighed slightly. He was completely convinced by Huamin. Huamin didn't say anything. Lin Mingyu said, I thought you'd throw a bunch of money at me with your current status. Do you need money? Huamin asked with a smile. Lin Mingyu smiled as well. Or you could bribe me with expensive gifts. Or lure me with money. That won't work on you. Everyone knows that you're the most upright doctor in the bureau. Otherwise, you wouldn't have become an elite at such a young age. I didn't think that the upright vice director Huo would flatter someone. Lin Mingyu smiled. I'm not flattering you. Everything I said is the truth. Okay, I thought I'd give you a hard time, but who knew that you'd shut me up? It seems like I'm no match for you. No wonder everyone says that the vice director of Southside is a woman with a high IQ. She's so smart that no one can be jealous of her, only admiration and admiration. Okay, Dr. Lin, let's stop flattering each other. I really need your help this time. I can help you with this, Lin Mingyu agreed without hesitation. Thank you. Huamin was pleasantly surprised. He didn't think that Lin Mingyu would be so easily convinced. No, don't thank me yet. I know that I'll re-examine Lu Zai's injuries for you, but if the results are out and there's no other wound hidden by the fruit knife, I'll still report it as it is. I won't change Suyu's results just because he's your friend, Lin Mingyu said righteously. That's not a problem. I understand. It's how it should be. You trust Suyu that much? Lin Mingyu looked at Huamin seriously. Yes, I believe him. He wouldn't do such a thing. I've known him for many years. I know my own friends. Suyu is very lucky to have a friend like you. Lin Mingyu was a little envious. Oh, it's me. I'm very happy to have a friend like Suyu. Huamin smiled faintly. His eyes were sincere from the bottom of his heart. At this moment, Lin Mingyu finally understood why everyone liked Huamin so much. If Suyu heard what she said, he would be moved to death, right? I'm not a gossipy person, but I know that the two of you are talking about a divorce. So? Huamin smiled. So, if you help Suyu clear his name now, someone might write a ridiculous story about it. It might not be good for your family. Do you know that? Also, as far as I know, even though the Su family can't interfere with Suyu's matters right now, he definitely won't go to jail. In other words, whether Suyu really did it or not, he won't really go to jail. So, what's the point of trying so hard to clear Suyu's name? Even if it means divorcing your husband? After hearing this, Huamin looked at Lin Mingyu's face and said word by word, Huamin will never let my friend be set up for no reason and be accused of something he didn't do. No matter what I have to do, I won't let something like this happen. I won't let it happen. So, is it really worth it? Or, do you actually like Suyu a little? Lin Mingyu asked uncertainly. Chapter 2646. I don't like you, I only have the most sincere friendship for my friends. Huamin's answer was short but honest. Okay, it's a blessing to be Vice Director Hua's friend. Lin Mingyu sighed heavily. But you're my friend too. Huamin was a little embarrassed. No, I'm not. Otherwise, Vice Director Hua wouldn't have used me without telling me, Lin Mingyu said in a fit of pique. Huamin felt guilty. I'm sorry, Dr. Lin. I really didn't have a choice back then. You don't have to explain, I understand. I don't blame you. People say that a husband and wife are birds in the same forest. When disaster strikes, they fly away separately. But you, a weak woman, put your own safety aside and wholeheartedly protected your husband at a critical moment like this. This kind of heart is hard to come by. Huamin bit his lips and didn't say anything else. He really didn't know what to say. Let's go, I'll go write up the application. After the city bureau approves, I'll bring people to Lu Zhe to re-examine his injuries. Dr. Lin, about Lu Zhe. Huamin was anxious and wanted to say something. I know I won't give Lu Zhe any advance notice. I'll give him time to play tricks. I'll bring people over and catch him off guard. When the time comes, the results will be the most accurate and he won't have a chance to play any tricks. Guess that's it. Thank you for your hard work. Huamin nodded in relief. Okay, don't worry, I'll get the results as soon as possible. But you have to know, even if we do find something, it might not be enough to clear his name. After all, there are so many witnesses, so don't place all your hopes on this. It can only be used as supporting evidence. I understand, I'll think of a way to find other evidence. Anyways, thank you, Dr. Lin. You're welcome, it's my job. Then Huamin and Lin Mingyu left the office together. Huamin went straight to Jiang Shaowei. The two of them ordered a few simple dishes from a Sichuan restaurant downstairs and chatted while eating. I didn't expect Lin Mingyu to be so easy to talk to. Damn, this is an eye-opener, Jiang Shaowei exclaimed. Actually, I've asked around about Lin Mingyu. Gao Ran said that he has a good reputation. Although he's a little rigid and unwilling to bend the rules, he's still a very upright person. Many family members have given him money and jewelry before, asking him to slightly change the test results, but he refused no matter what. Lin Mingyu's conditions are not bad. He doesn't lack that bit of money. It's not a matter of money. It's a matter of character. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to hold on to this post for so many years. But this time I'm surprised that he agreed. Mion, you have to know that it's the hospital's job to examine the injuries of living people. It's not Lin Mingyu's job. He's a forensic doctor and he only examines corpses. I understand. So, why don't you let the first hospital or South Side do the examination? Why go through so much trouble? Jiang Shaowei didn't understand Huamin's move. The hospital won't be able to do it. Lu Zhe is a doctor and he's very good at it. Only a forensic doctor would be able to do such a detailed examination. Plus, it's because he's a forensic doctor from the Municipal Public Security Bureau that he's more convincing. Damn, I'm impressed. You're so thoughtful and meticulous. Jiang Shaowei gave him a thumbs up. Just then Huamin's phone rang. She picked up the phone and saw that it was Tang Chuan. Sis-in-law, I found some leads on Lord Su's case. Where are you? I'll send them to you. Tang Chuan sounded a little excited. Chapter 2647. Sure, I'm with Shaowei. Just come to the Sichuan restaurant on the street behind the bureau. Okay, I'll be right there. Who is it? Jiang Xiaowei asked. Tang Chuan. He said he found some clues. That's good news. They didn't have to wait for long before Tang Chuan arrived in a high-profile Ferrari sports car. Oh, both sisters-in-law are here, huh? Cut the crap, tell me, what did you find out? Jiang Xiaowei was also anxious. Tang Chuan looked at Huamin and said with admiration, Sister-in-law, you're right, I'm impressed by your intelligence. You asked me to ask around in the circle and I really did find out. One of my friend's cousin used to hang out with Lu Zhe. Although Lu Zhe went abroad and his friend also studied abroad, they were in different countries but they still followed each other on Facebook. He told me that Lu Zhe used to have a girlfriend from Sea City, and Lu Zhe would occasionally show off their relationship on Facebook. I don't know what happened, but Lu Zhe deleted all of the photos on Facebook, no matter if it was of that woman or Lu Zhe himself. He described the girl's appearance to me, and I hired a professional artist to draw her out. Guess who the girl is? Who? Jiang Xiaowei was curious. No matter who the girl is, she must have something to do with Su Yu. Lu Zhe is obviously here for revenge. Huamin analyzed. Damn, is it Jian Tong, that scheming bitch? Jiang Xiaowei guessed. Huamin shook his head decisively. No, Jian Tong only wanted to win Su Yu's heart. She wouldn't date someone like Lu Zhe. Plus, Jian Tong is a public figure. Lu Zhe wouldn't show off their relationship on Facebook, so this person can't be from the entertainment industry. Sister-in-law, you're so smart. You're indeed not from the entertainment industry. Tang Chuan continued to argue. Fuck, then just say it. Why are you being so secretive? Jiang Xiaowei hammered Tang Chuan's shoulder anxiously. There's no hurry. Let's test the intelligence of my sister-in-law, Huamin. Everyone says that she's extremely smart. Today I want to broaden my horizons. Guess. If you guess correctly, I'll pay for today's meal. After that, Tang Chuan calmly picked up the glass of water. Because he was thirsty from talking, he drank a large glass of water. Judging from your tone, it's definitely not easy to guess. Aren't you making things difficult for Mian? Jiang Xiaowei chuckled. Huamin didn't smile. Instead, he was seriously thinking and analyzing. After about 10 seconds, Huamin slowly said, before Lord Su was born, he was rumored to be a playboy. However, he never let a girl down or played with her feelings. However, there was one girl who was unlucky because of Su Yu. Who? Jiang Xiaowei was surprised. Zhao Qingya, Huamin slowly answered. Just as Tang Chuan was about to speak, Huamin continued. But Zhao Qingya was also a public figure under Imperial Star. She was very popular back in the day, just like Jian Tong. Tang Chuan also said that he wasn't from the entertainment industry. So I thought of someone else. Zhao Qingya's younger sister. She blamed Su Yu for her sister's imprisonment and committed suicide to frame Su Yu. Oh my god, Mian, if you didn't mention it, I almost forgot about her. Tang Chuan, is my Mian right? Jiang Xiaowei tilted her head and asked Tang Chuan. Chapter 2648. Sis-in-law, you know how to read fortunes, right? Tang Chuan looked like he was about to cry. Cut the crap, is it right or not? Jiang Xiaowei asked anxiously. Yeah, it's her, Zhao Xia. Tang Chuan pulled out an old photo of the girl and Lu Zhe and threw it onto the table. Jiang Xiaowei picked it up and looked at it. You don't say, this girl really does look like Zhao Qingya. They were born from the same father and mother. How can they not look alike? Tang Chuan laughed. If it's really her, then everything makes sense. Lu Zhe blamed everything on Su Yu and that's why he's trying to get revenge. Then, Lu Zhe wrote and directed all of this himself? Tang Chuan asked. Not necessarily. No matter how vicious Lu Zhe is, he doesn't look like someone who would cut his own tendons. Plus, he should know that with the power of the Su family, even if it wasn't Su Yu wouldn't really go to jail. So, it's impossible for him to trade his own hand for Su Yu's medical parole. Don't forget that doctors like us value our hands the most. We have to be prepared for surgery at all times. Mian is right. Seems like this whole thing is a bit complicated. Lu Zhe might really have been attacked by an outsider and used the opportunity to frame Su Yu, Jiang Xiaowei analyzed. Huamin nodded. That's the most likely explanation. Okay, sisters-in-law, you guys are so smart. From what I know, this girl has been with Lu Zhe for more than 3 years. During that time, she even went abroad to visit Lu Zhe once. She was planning to go abroad after graduation and even filled out her application. Who would have thought that something like this would happen? Tang Chuan explained. Logically speaking, this shouldn't be the case. A normal girl wouldn't risk her own life to frame someone else, even if something happened to her sister. Jiang Xiaowei felt like something was wrong. I forgot to tell you guys, this girl has depression. She had a relapse once before during the middle school exams due to the stress. She had another relapse during the college entrance exams. So, the last time she had a relapse, it was probably because of her sister's death that she was so traumatized that she went to extremes. I heard that the two sisters were very close. Don't be fooled by Zhao Qingya's arrogance, she really loved her sister. Zhao Qingya paid for her sister's food, clothes and school fees. Zhao Qingya even left her a lot of money for her to go abroad. Tang Chuan told them what he found out. So, everything makes sense now. I knew that Lu Zhe had ulterior motives for coming back to work at Southside. At first, I thought he was working for Hu Xiqian to sow discord between me and Mr. Qin. Now I know that he approached me not to sow discord between me and Mr. Qin, but to take revenge on Su Yu. It seems like he also investigated Su Yu thoroughly, Hu Min said with a straight face. Yeah, our Lord Su was too careless this time. He was framed by an idiot. So frustrating. I really want to go to Southside and kill that bastard right now. Tang Chuan's face was filled with anger. That's enough, don't cause more trouble. Now that Lu Zhe is in trouble and has applied for protection, no one can get close to him, let alone you. We should think of a way to clear Su Yu's name. Jiang Xiaowei picked up her glass and took a sip of water. Mian, do you have any good ideas? You're smart, we'll listen to you. Tang Chuan looked at Hu Min. Chapter 2649. I will collect all the evidence and clear Su Yu's name, Hu Min said. That's it? That's all? Tang Chuan wasn't satisfied. That's not all. Anyways, all you need to do is collect the evidence for me. I know how to do it. They will do as you say. After talking about Su Yu, Hu Min, Jiang Xiaowei and Tang Chuan continued to eat. Qin Ning originally planned to come with Su Yu, but she received a call from Qin Chu's parents, so she went back to pick up the twins and went to piano practice. So she planned to find Tang Chuan after she was done with her work. While the twins were in the piano room, Qin Ning sat in the living room and waited. She took out her phone and started texting her friends in America to relieve her boredom. Suddenly, she heard a woman's laughter behind her. Miss Qin, what a coincidence. Qin Ning turned around and when she saw the woman behind her, her face fell slightly. Miss Jean, what a coincidence. It was Jean Ning. She was as elegant as always, wearing a long cheongsam and styling her hair in the style of the Republic of China. She exuded the aura of a mature woman. Miss Qin, isn't Chuan with you? Is Chuan someone you can call? If I remember correctly, you're his third aunt, right? Qin Ning's expression was not pleasant. But I'm divorced from his third uncle. So what? Do you think you still have a chance? Are you trying to persuade me to back off? Qin Ning knew that Jean Ing wasn't a kind person. No, I actually want to say that you don't know Chuan. After all, I was with him for a long time. What he likes to eat, what he likes to play, what he likes to listen to, which country he likes, which team he likes, what sports he likes, I know everything. What about you? Do you know? Qin Ning suddenly realized that after being together for so long, Tang Chuan basically knew her preferences. However, it was true that she had never asked Tang Chuan because when the two of them were together, Tang Chuan always followed her preferences. Tang Chuan would eat whatever she ate. Thinking of this, she felt guilty. She had indeed neglected him. I don't know. It seems your girlfriend isn't very reliable. No wonder. Mrs. Tang doesn't like you. Jean Ing smiled contemptuously. You make it sound like Mrs. Tang likes you. The pot calling the kettle black, what's the point? Qin Ning retorted. Do you know what the Tang family is saying about you? Jean Ing asked. Tell me about it. Qin Ning raised her chin arrogantly. The Tang family said that you're just an unruly rich girl who doesn't know how to do anything and that you're not suitable to be the daughter-in-law of the Tang family. Plus, Chuan's feelings for you are temporary and he's just looking for a sense of novelty. The truth is he's always liked mature and elegant women, not an immature girl like you. Even if he did marry you, it would be because your family has helped the Tang family. It's a business marriage. Do you really think you two are truly in love? What's the point of saying all this? Do you think I don't know what you're thinking? You just want to drive a wedge between us. Why should I believe you? Qin Ning wasn't an idiot. She wouldn't believe Jean Ying's unreliable words just because of what she said. Do you think I'm just saying it? You can see for yourself. Then Jean Ing turned on her phone and showed Qin Ning a video. After watching it, Qin Ning's expression changed drastically. Chapter 2650. Jean Ing had recorded a short video, and the person talking in it was Tang Chuan's mother. Although Qin Ning had never officially visited her, she knew what Tang Chuan's mother looked like. In the video, Tang Chuan's mother said loudly and disdainfully, "That little girl from the Qin family is shameless enough to throw herself at my son. Her father wants to give the company to my son, but unfortunately my son has a backbone. The Tang family doesn't lack that little bit of pocket money. Who would want that? My son is still young and uncertain. He's just fooling around with that little girl for a while and he won't get married. I've never liked the Qin family, especially that young president of GK. He's always so arrogant, as if they're the only rich family in the world. You guys, if there's a suitable girl with a clean background who's cultured and educated, introduce her to my son. She must be a virgin. I don't want my future daughter-in-law to be a bus driver. I don't want anyone to sleep with her, and I don't want my grandson to be born from a woman like that. Our family doesn't ask for a daughter-in-law to be super rich, even if she's not of the same social status, but I'm telling you she must be filial to me and Tang Chuan. She must know how to take care of my son and be a good wife and mother." The video ended there, and Qin Ning's expression couldn't be described with the word ugly. "How is it, Miss Qin? Are you sad? To tell you the truth, Tang Chuan's mother is very difficult to deal with. Even a rich girl who's better than you might not be able to catch her eye, let alone you. So, don't think that you're really Tang Chuan's fiancé. Thank you for your kindness, Ms. Jean. No matter what the Tang family thinks of me, as long as Tang Chuan treats me well and loves me, that's all that matters. Even if they want to use your marriage and your family background, you don't care?" Jean Ing asked in disbelief. "Yes, I don't care as long as Tang Chuan is with me. It's better than someone like you who doesn't know how to cherish him and only comes back to him after losing him," Qin Ning refuted Jean Ing. "Haha, I really have to admire Miss Qin's open-mindedness." Jean Ing laughed sarcastically. "You probably haven't heard of a story. Actually, marriages that are based on benefits will last longer. After all, a marriage of equal social status will help two people get along better. With your background, you should be very lucky to be able to marry his third uncle. It's impossible for you to marry Tang Chuan, but I can. Even if it's because of my family background, I'm willing, but you'll never be able to get it." "That's it." Qin Ning's words infuriated Jean Ing. "Well, in that case I won't say more. Miss Jean, take care of yourself, hee. Jean Ing turned around and left. "What a bitch." Qin Ning cursed as she looked at the woman's departing back. When the twins came out, they realized that their aunt was in a bad mood. "What's going on? Why the long face? Did you break up?" Little Bean teased. "Little Bean, can't you say something more auspicious?" Qin Ning didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Lucky? K auntie, did you get pregnant out of wedlock?" Little Bean continued to ask. Qin Ning almost choked on her own saliva when she heard this. Just then her phone rang. She looked down and saw that it was Tang Chuan calling. But for some reason Qin Ning didn't want to pick up. "Auntie, you have a phone call." Little Bean thought that Qin Ning didn't hear her and kindly reminded her. Chapter 2651. "I heard it. You don't have to answer it," Qin Ning said angrily. "Seems like you guys are really fighting." Pudding glanced at her aunt helplessly. He felt so tired every day. Not only did she have to watch her parents fight, but she also had to watch her aunt and future uncle put on such a sad show. "It's okay. Don't talk about it when you get home, okay?" Qin Ning warned. "Okay." Seeing their aunt's attitude, the twins didn't want to ask too much. When they got home, Qin Chu and Huamin had already gone home. It was rare for the whole family to gather together. Mrs. Qin had prepared a table full of dishes in order to ease the awkward atmosphere in the house. "Grandma made a lot of the dishes today. You guys should eat some," Mr. Qin said to his twin grandsons. "Grandma made the food herself." "Thank you, Grandma." "Mwah." Little Bean blew a kiss into the air. "You're good at making people happy." Mama Qin smiled. "Ning Ning, do you want to call your boyfriend and ask him to come over for dinner?" Mr. Qin asked. "No, Uncle." "What's wrong?" Mr. Qin felt something was wrong and asked curiously. "Ning Ning, what's wrong? Did you have a fight with Tang Chuan?" Huamin tilted his head and looked at Qin Ning. He saw Tang Chuan at noon and didn't think there was anything going on between them. "It's okay, sis-in-law. Let's not talk about it. You should ask my brother if he really wants me to take the twins with me." Qin Ning hadn't made up her mind yet. After all, they had never lived alone in the States. Would they really get used to being separated from their parents for so long? At this question, Huamian gently bit her lips. Honey, do you really want Ning Ning to take the twins with her? Mom and Dad will go with her. Don't worry. When this is over, we'll bring them back. But, is it safe? I'm afraid. Huamin still felt uneasy. Safe. I've contacted Rick. His people will be waiting at the airport over there. There won't be any problems, Qin Chu said. But, Huamin still felt that it was inappropriate. Before she could finish, Qin Chu interrupted her. While the children are gone, let's calm down and think about our business. Chu Mian, you're both adults now, not kids anymore. Your mom and I don't want to talk too much about your relationship, but don't mess around. After all, you're parents now. Don't let outsiders laugh at you, Mr. Qin said seriously. Huamin nodded obediently. You're right, Daddy. Let's treat this trip to America as a vacation and visit your second uncle. We can also persuade him to stop being so pretentious and agree to Ning Ning's marriage with that kid from the Tang family, Mr. Qin said. Uncle, my matter is not urgent. You don't have to help me. Ever since she watched the video Jin Ing gave her, Qin Ning had been in a bad mood. She vented all her anger on Tang Chuan. Daddy, Mommy, but Sis and I don't want to go. We don't want to leave you, Little Bean said pitifully. It won't be long. Be good. When things are done here, I'll bring you back, okay? Qin Chu coaxed his two daughters gently. Although Pudding was unwilling, she nodded calmly. Hey, let's do that. After dinner, Qin Chu went to the study while Huamin took the twins to their room to read stories. After Qin Chu went in, he received a call from Rick. Have you booked their trip? When will it be? I'll send someone to pick them up, Rick asked. Chapter 2652. They're not going, Qin Chu answered calmly. They're not going? Are you kidding me? Rick froze. My daughters are leaving, but it's just an illusion. It's to deceive people. The news I released to the public is 2 days later. At that time, I believe that someone will definitely make a move at the airport. I'm here to catch a turtle in a jar. So that's how it is. You sure have a lot of ideas. Rick admitted defeat to Qin Chu's scheming. So, you can just send some people over and pretend to be there. Okay, I understand. After the call with Rick, Qin Chu picked up his phone and ordered his subordinates to deploy. He wondered if Hua Xiqian would make a move if he knew his daughters were leaving. There were also other enemies who were eyeing him. In another room, Mommy, I think it's not good for Auntie. I'll go see her. You stay with Sis for a bit. Okay. Then Little Bean, who was wearing a tank top and shorts, ran to find Qin Ning. Pudding, do you have anything you want to take with you? Huamin asked. Mommy, do you really think we'll leave? Pudding's words left Huamin speechless. Daddy, you mean? Pudding was about to speak, but Huamin shushed her. Then she took out the anti-eavesdropping device from her bag and turned on the signal jammer. Then she continued, okay, you can speak now. Daddy's obviously trying to lure us away. He won't let us leave here and go to the States alone. He's just using this opportunity to eliminate a group of enemies who want to harm us. Pudding, you're right. That's what your daddy meant. Even an idiot can see it. Mommy loves us so much but didn't stop Daddy. You guys obviously planned this. Pudding looked at them with disdain. Your grandparents and Auntie don't know about this. If too many people know, it'll be easy to expose. I know. I won't tell Auntie and I won't tell Grandpa and Grandma. I believe Daddy will explain when the time comes. Well, my daughter, you're Mommy's pride. Huamin suddenly felt that Pudding was so smart. It was almost as if he had surpassed his younger self. So, Mommy, can I ask you a question now? Okay, tell me about it. Huamin looked at her eldest daughter with a smile, her face full of motherly love. Do you have a baby? Pudding asked seriously. Although his expression was very calm, just like an adult, his voice was still childish. When Huamin heard this, he was shocked beyond words. Pudding, why are you? Mommy, answer me first. Yes or no? Huamin hesitated for 3 seconds before finally nodding. Yes. I knew it. Looks like we're going to have a new member soon. Pudding smiled slightly. Pudding, how did you know? It depends on your reaction. Mommy, you've always had a good appetite, but recently you've been vomiting a lot. Every time you sneak into the bathroom, you don't want anyone to see you. If you have a stomach flu, you'll prepare your own medicine. But I haven't seen you take any medicine. Okay, you're so smart. Mommy is impressed. Huamin patted Pudding's head lovingly. Mommy, it's a good thing that you're pregnant. Why didn't you tell Daddy? If he knew, he'd be so happy, Pudding asked. Chapter 2653. It's a critical time. Your daddy and I have to deal with the bad guys together, so I don't want to distract him. But if you don't tell him and something happens, you won't be able to explain it to Daddy, right? I don't think so. Mommy can take care of herself. Did Mommy do a prenatal checkup? I did it secretly. Mommy's an OB-GYN. Don't worry, Pudding. Mommy, you have to take care of yourself and the baby. Pudding looked at her mommy worriedly. Huamin picked up Pudding lovingly and placed her on his lap. Oh, Mommy's pregnant now. You can't carry me. Pudding struggled to get off his lap. It's okay. The baby in Mommy's belly is still small. Nothing will happen. Pudding, do you like a younger brother or a younger sister? Huamin asked happily. A younger brother, of course. Why? Huamin was even more intrigued. Because Little Bean and I are girls. If we become nuns in the future, Daddy and Mommy will be lonely. If it's a younger brother, he can marry a wife in the future so that Daddy and Mommy won't be alone. No one will accompany them. Pudding's reason made Huamin's eyes hazy with tears. Pudding, your words really touched Mommy. I'm just saying what I think. Although a younger brother is a bit naughty, he has his advantages. Then, aren't you afraid that Daddy and Mommy will only love the younger brother and not you and Little Bean? Huamin asked tentatively. Mommy, we're not kids who don't know how to behave. We're all born from the same parents. There's no such thing as love. We're the fruits of your love and will be loved equally. It's not like you guys laid the eggs. You don't have to care about them after they're born. Huamin, okay, you win. Huamin suddenly realized that his eloquence was no match for his 3.5-year-old daughter. Wasn't it too powerful? In the other room, Little Bean said that she was going to coax Qin Ning, but on the way to her aunt's room she saw the freshly baked egg tarts and forgot about her aunt. She followed the maid all the way to the living room and ate egg tarts in the living room. She even nestled in her grandfather's arms and ate. When Qin Ning came out of the shower, she saw several WeChat messages on her phone. Tang Chuan, Ning Ning, why aren't you answering the phone? Tang Chuan, oh my God, don't scare me. Alright, my heart can't take scares. Tang Chuan, baby Ning, did I do something wrong? Sob, please acknowledge me. Seeing Tang Chuan like this, Qin Ning's heart softened. He picked up his phone and replied, I fell asleep and just woke up. Tang Chuan, damn, you scared me to death. Can you tell me before you go to bed next time? Qin Ning, Tang Chuan, in the future. I mean, in the future we can't be together anymore. If we break up, will you still remember me? Tang Chuan, I refuse to answer questions that won't happen, and I won't answer hypothetical questions like this. Qin Ning, I'm serious. What if we're not meant to be? Tang Chuan, then I'll go find matchmaker and get more fate for us. Qin Ning, if we break up you'll be sad, right? Tang Chuan, no, because we can't break up at all. Qin Ning, Tang Chuan, Ning Ning, you're weird today. What's wrong? Did something happen? Tang Chuan suddenly realized that Qin Ning was a little sad today and his heart immediately sank. Chapter 2654. No, nothing. Don't lie to me. If there's anything wrong, just tell me. If I'm not doing a good job, just tell me. I'm really fine. I'm a little tired. I'm going to sleep. Ning Ning. Qin Ning said that she was tired, so she really put her phone in the drawer and turned it on silent mode. No matter what Tang Chuan said, she didn't reply. This made Tang Chuan feel very uneasy. Although he had been busy with Lord Su's matter and hadn't been with her every day, he didn't feel at ease. However, it wasn't to the extent of giving her the cold shoulder. For the past 2 days he would send her WeChat messages one after another every morning. He was especially sick of her. Qin Ning's abnormal behavior today made Tang Chuan feel uneasy. He couldn't sleep in the middle of the night, so he got up and took a cold shower. Then he made a phone call. Help me find out Ning Ning's schedule and who she's meeting today. 20 minutes later, Tang Chuan received a call. He was furious. Where is that bitch Jining right now? Tang Chuan asked. Young Master Tang, we just found out that she's drinking at a bar in the West District. Okay, I got it. After hanging up the phone, Tang Chuan angrily drove his Ferrari straight to the Slow Yao bar in the West District. He always disdained going to places like this. As he got older, Tang Chuan didn't play as crazy as before. Most of the time he liked to drink and chat with Wei Liao and Su Yu in private lounges. However, the people in the nightclub all knew this young Master Tang. "Oh, young Master Tang, why are you here?" "Good evening, young Master Tang." Everyone greeted him. This young master was in a bad mood and didn't even smile. Everyone was scared and made a path for him. "Is Jining here?" Tang Chuan grabbed a man's collar and asked. Yes, she's on the dance floor." The man pointed to the center of the stage. Then Tang Chuan pulled off his tie and loosened it. Then he walked directly to the dance floor. On the stage, Jining was having a good time. She was having a dance competition with a prostitute, which made the men below scream. At this time, Tang Chuan took a big step forward, grabbed Jin Ying's collar and pulled it down. What are you doing?" Jining was shocked. When she turned around, she saw clearly that it was Tang Chuan. "Chuan, why are you here? Did you come looking for me?" The woman was overjoyed. "Did you see Qin Ning today?" Tang Chuan asked coldly. Upon hearing Tang Chuan's question, Jin Ying stopped smiling and said disdainfully. "I didn't look for her on purpose. I met her by chance." "So, what did you tell her?" "I didn't say anything." "Did that little girl complain to you? Did she say something bad about me?" "Pa, do you believe what she said?" Jin Ying was the first to accuse her. "Ningning didn't say anything. Do you think she's the same as you?" "Ningning is very innocent," Tang Chuan said angrily. "Innocent?" "Young Master Tang, stop fooling around. How can a teenage girl who can sit on the board of directors of her family be innocent? You shouldn't only listen to her side of the story. Take it out." Tang Chuan reached out his hand impatiently. "What is it?" Jining played dumb. Tang Chuan didn't wait for her to finish and grabbed her phone. Then he pulled her arm and unlocked the phone. Finally, he found the video. After watching it, Tang Chuan's expression changed. He looked at Jining and said, "You really put in a lot of effort to set me up. You even went to my mom." "Jining, not bad. You're getting more and more vicious." "Chuan, it's not like that. Listen to me. I did this because I still love you. I still want to be by your side." Jining didn't expect that after a few years apart, Tang Chuan was no longer the reckless and stupid boy who could be played by her. The man in front of her was an angry beast. She was beginning to fear him. Chapter 2655. Come back to me. Do you think this is a kindergarten where you can come and go as you please? Jining, I fed my heart to a dog back then. I thought you'd be fine as long as you stayed by my third uncle's side for the past few years. I didn't expect you to come out and seek death again. Chuan, I've always loved you. I married your third uncle because he drugged me and forced himself on me. I had no choice. Jining always thought that Tang Chuan still had feelings for her, so she pretended to be pitiful. Are you too naive or am I too naive? Do you think I'd believe such bullshit? Do you really think I'm an idiot? Tang Chuan scolded angrily. Chuan, believe me. Jining was still begging, but Tang Chuan didn't care about her at all. He grabbed Jin Ying's neck and pressed her down onto the wooden table in the nightclub. The onlookers were scared out of their wits. Young Master Tang, forget it. Why lower yourself to a woman's level? Just do me a favor today. A middle-aged man in his 40s stood behind him. He was the owner of the nightclub. Jining was a frequent customer recently, so he wanted to protect her. However, this angered Tang Chuan even more. Fuck you, I'm not going to give anyone face today. Don't you dare submit your feelings to me. I used to think that men shouldn't hit women, but today I suddenly feel that women like you are an exception. After speaking, Tang Chuan pulled Jin Ying's hair and slammed her into a pillar on the other side. Jining screamed. The onlookers were also scared out of their wits, but no one dared to stop them. Everyone knew that Tang Chuan used to have a nickname, Mr. Donkey, which meant that he had a temper like a donkey. When he got angry, the earth would shake. Other than Su Yu and Wei Liao, no one could suppress him. Unfortunately, the two of them weren't here right now. The women who came with Jining were also scared out of their wits. Some ran away while others hid in the corner and didn't dare to make a sound. No one knew how Jining had provoked Tang Chuan. Chuan, I was wrong. I won't do it again. Please forgive me. Jining begged with tears streaming down her face. Forgiving you is something God does, and my duty is to send you to God. Tang Chuan was furious. In fact, in the past few years, although he resented Jining, it was because Jining had been with him once, so he didn't want to kill her. If he wanted to do something to her, she wouldn't have been able to survive until now. However, this woman was not satisfied. She had always thought that Tang Chuan still had feelings for her. Therefore, if one didn't seek death, they wouldn't die. Help. Call the police. Hurry up. Jean Ying screamed for help when she saw that Tang Chuan had lost his mind. A few rich kids who knew Tang Chuan were also scared silly. Hurry up and call Lord Su. Young Master Tang listens to Lord Su the most. Are you stupid? Lord Su is still in the Municipal Public Security Bureau. He's being detained. Another man was also anxious. Then what should we do? If this continues, she'll die. Hurry up and call young Master Wei, one of the rich kids shouted. 15 minutes later, Wei Liao arrived. This was one of the few times he drove a sports car because it was an emergency. Wei Liao drove his orange-yellow Lamborghini all the way to the nightclub. In only 15 minutes he ran countless red lights. Jean Ying wasn't fated to die. When Wei Liao arrived, he grabbed Tang Chuan's collar and pulled him back. Let go of me. Tang Chuan didn't know who it was, but he tried to shake him off. You're crazy. Wei Liao roared. Chapter 2656. After seeing that it was Wei Liao, Tang Chuan finally came back to his senses. If you keep doing this, she's going to die. Wei Liao pointed at the woman on the floor and cursed. She deserved to die. Tang Chuan said confidently. In fact, he didn't do this to Jean Ying himself. He pulled her hair and slammed it against the pillar on the table. You killed her in front of everyone. Do you think you can get away with it? Is it worth it for someone like her? After Wei Liao said this, Tang Chuan lowered his head and didn't say anything else. He had just regained a bit of his rationality. Call an ambulance and send her to the hospital. We will settle this privately. We'll pay for it. But if anyone dares to leak this out and make a big deal out of it, don't blame me for not showing mercy. Wei Liao's domineering words shocked everyone. 5 minutes later, the ambulance arrived and took Jean Ying to the hospital. Wei Liao dragged Tang Chuan into the car and left the nightclub. Then they went to a private club owned by the Wei family. Wei Liao drank with Tang Chuan. Chuan, we've been brothers for years. I'll get straight to the point. Lord Su is still in the Municipal Public Security Bureau. I don't know how he's doing. Tell me, what are you doing? Jean Ying, that bitch is pushing me too far. She's been living a good life for the past few years, but when have you ever seen me talk to her? Tang Chuan took a sip of wine, depressed. Why did you go crazy this time? Is it because of Qin Ning? Wei Liao guessed. Tang Chuan didn't say anything and took another sip of wine. Qin Ning sent a WeChat message to Tang Chuan, saying that she was tired and was going to bed. The truth was she didn't sleep well last night. At 6 in the morning she sent a WeChat message to Tang Chuan with an emoji. Tang Chuan didn't reply, which made her even angrier. After getting up and packing up, she planned to go to Tang Chuan's villa to look for him later. When she went downstairs, she saw Huamin eating breakfast alone. Good morning, sister-in-law. Morning, Ning Ning. Where's my brother? Qin Ning was curious. Her brother woke up early every day at this time. Your brother has already gone out. So early? Qin Ning was surprised. Well, maybe I've been busy recently. Oh, Qin Ning sat beside Huamin and picked up a cup of warm milk as she spoke slowly. You don't look too good. Did you not sleep well last night? You have dark circles under your eyes. Oh, maybe it's the time difference, Qin Ning said perfunctorily. At that moment Huamin's phone rang. Xiaowei? What? There's such a thing. Oh my god, what happened to Tang Chuan? Okay, I got it. I'll tell Ning Ning. After speaking, Huamin hung up the phone with a serious expression. Seeing Huamin's expression, Qin Ning was scared out of her wits. She thought that Tang Chuan was in an accident. Sister-in-law, what happened? Something happened to Tang Chuan last night. What happened? Did he get into a car accident? Qin Ning was so scared that she was about to cry. She grabbed Huamin's hand with so much force that Huamin frowned in pain. Don't worry, it's not a car accident. Tang Chuan beat up Jean Ning last night for some reason and almost killed her. Later Wei Liao went and talked him out of it, but he was in a bad mood and kept drinking with Wei Liao. Later Wei Liao was trapped in the private room of the club and fell asleep. When Xiaowei went over this morning, she found that Tang Chuan had gastric bleeding and sent him to the hospital. Gastric bleeding? Oh my god. Which hospital is he in right now? Qin Ning covered her mouth, completely ignoring the fact that he beat up Jean Ning. At South Side. Sister-in-law, let's go now. I want to see him. Qin Ning was in a hurry. Chapter 2657. When Qin Ning and Huamin arrived at Southside, the sun had just risen. I'm going to the office to change into my uniform, Huamin said. Hey, it's already so late. Sister-in-law, can you come with me to see Tang Chuan first? Qin Ning grabbed Huamian's hand. Look at how impatient you are. You're not reserved at all. Huamin teased her on purpose. How can I be reserved when I'm in love? Plus, when you were in love with my brother, you were even more lovey-dovey than us. Huamin was speechless. Just like that, under Qin Ning's constant pestering, Huamin followed Qin Ning to see Tang Chuan before he had time to change out of his uniform. Tang Chuan lived in VIP 6 and enjoyed the treatment of an emperor. Those who knew him would think he was there to recuperate, but those who didn't would think he was there to gain weight. Good morning, Vice Director. Good morning, Vice Director Hua. On the way, all the doctors and nurses greeted Huamin warmly. Huamin, on the other hand, only wore a simple white short-sleeved shirt, black harem pants and flats. Then he wore a black Korean-style windbreaker and his black-rimmed glasses. He looked very cute. Although he didn't have the elegant and intellectual temperament he had before, he still looked much younger. Ever since Zhang Manlin deliberately imitated Huamin's clothes, her taste and style had changed. Why are you standing at the door? Huamin said with a smile. Sister-in-law, you go in first. What? Are you two having a fight? Huamin asked Qin Ning, sensing something was wrong. Not really. Anyway, you go in first. Hee. Qin Ning began to hesitate. Huamin had no choice but to push the door open and walk in. Inside, Tang Chuan was eating breakfast and the caregiver was mopping the floor. Sister-in-law, why are you here? Tang Chuan was a little surprised. I heard it from Xiaowei. What happened? You've never been drunk before. How did you get gastroragic? Huamin asked deliberately. Mistake. Tang Chuan replied with a smile as he craned his neck to look out the door. What are you looking at? Huamin asked deliberately. I'm fine. Are you disappointed that Ning Ning didn't come? After all, I didn't tell Ning Ning. She's always anxious. If she knew, she'd probably be worried about me, haha. Tang Chuan said narcissistically. Who's worried about you? It's better if you're dead. I'll let you drink so you won't learn from your mistakes. Qin Ning couldn't hold it in any longer as she pushed open the door and walked in. Seeing Qin Ning walk in, Tang Chuan was so excited that he almost jumped out of bed. Hey, what are you doing? You can't move. You're still on N4 drip. Huamin immediately stopped Tang Chuan. Oh my god, you're really here? Tang Chuan's face was full of joy. Yeah, to see if you're dead. Qin Ning purposely put on a dark face. Haha, of course not. If I'm dead, you'll be a widow. Don't be so shameless. Fine, I'm not married to you yet, Qin Ning scolded. Ning, my hand hurts. Can you feed me some congee? I'm so hungry. Tang Chuan began to act like a spoiled child. In your dreams. You're just suffering from gastroragic. It's not like you lost an arm or a leg. Qin Ning retorted. Do you have the heart to do that? Forget it, I won't eat. I'll just starve. Tang Chuan looked at the congee pitifully. Qin Ning's heart immediately softened. Look at you acting like a spoiled child. I knew you'd be fine. Okay, you two have your fun. I'm going to work. Huamin shook his head helplessly and walked out of the room. At this time, Tang Chuan was even more brazen. He pulled Qin Ning's face and kissed her. What are you doing? Qin Ning bit her lips shyly. Chapter 2658. What am I doing? Can't I kiss my wife? Tang Chuan said matter-of-factly. How many times do I have to tell you, Tang Chuan? We haven't even gotten our marriage certificate yet. I'm not your wife yet. So you're blaming me for not proposing? Then I'll propose right now. Let's go get our marriage certificate right now, okay? Tang Chuan held Qin Ning's hand tightly. You really want to marry me? Qin Ning looked up at him. Of course. Then, let me ask you, if I'm not Qin Ning, would you still want to marry me? Qin Ning asked again. Tang Chuan was dumbfounded. No, Ning Ning, what do you mean? I'm confused. What do you mean you're not Qin Ning? Did the Qin family adopt you? Or Qin Chu's second uncle adopted you? Tang Chuan's imagination ran wild. No, what I mean is, if I'm just an ordinary girl, not the heiress of the Qin family and not a member of GK's board of directors, would you still want to marry me? Tang Chuan finally understood what she meant after hearing her words. He slowly withdrew his hand from Qin Ning's hand and his expression slowly fell. So you think? I want to marry you because of your heiress status and because I want your family's money? Qin Ning obviously didn't have the confidence to answer Tang Chuan's question. Ning, you're younger than me, so you're not mature enough to ask such a hurtful question. I won't blame you for now. Let's talk about a more obvious question. Do you think I need money? No. Qin Ning shook her head. Then do you think I want power? Not really. Qin Ning knew that Tang Chuan didn't even want to manage his own company. He preferred to be free and unrestrained, as happy as a bird. Or do you think you're the only heiress in the world, the only woman who's suitable for me? Tang Chuan asked sharply. That's not it. If you're looking for a rich girl, there are many candidates. I know you've always been good with women, Qin Ning replied expressionlessly. So, Ning, I think a smart person like you shouldn't ask me such a stupid question. To be honest, your question pisses me off. I feel like I'm an idiot right now. We've been together for a long time. How can you not know me and ask such a stupid question? Tang Chuan said. I just... Qin Ning bit her lip and hesitated. At this moment, Tang Chuan suddenly thought of something. He looked up and asked her, so, it's because of the video that Qin Ning showed you, isn't it? Do you mind what my mother said? Qin Ning hesitated for a few seconds before nodding obediently. I knew it. I knew that woman was the most despicable. I should have just ripped her mouth apart. Tang Chuan was a little angry. Could it be that the video is fake? Did Qin Ning wrongly accuse your mother? Qin Ning asked in displeasure. No, the video is real. My mother didn't lie about what she said. Tang Chuan tried to explain patiently. So, I have a reason to suspect your family's motive for marrying me, right? I don't think what I did was despicable, Qin Ning questioned calmly. Chapter 2659. Yes, you can doubt my family, my parents and my family members, but Ning, you shouldn't doubt my sincerity towards you. You're not a kid anymore. Can't you feel how I treat you? All these years I've never tried to get close to a woman for any other reason. There are many young stars in the industry, and I can play with any female artist under Lord Su's company for free. Why should I waste my time on you and carefully coax you? I'm not good at being cheap. The fact that Tang Chuan said those words proved that he was really angry. You're right, but what your mother said really hurt me. Whether or not Qin Ning recorded it on purpose, I'm really unhappy. Rest well, I'm going to go now. I don't want to fight with you. After speaking, Qin Ning turned and left. Tang Chuan pulled out the 4 drip from his hand, causing blood to flow out. Auntie, who was so scared that she screamed, blood. There's so much blood. Qin Ning turned around and saw the scene. Her face was extremely pale. Tang Chuan, what are you doing? Qin Ning lost control and yelled. Aren't you leaving? Why do you care if I die? Just go. Tang Chuan was also angry. Because of the rolling needle, there was a big bump on the back of his hand. The 4 drip was also all over the floor mixed with blood. It was a heart-wrenching sight. Nurse, come and take a look. Qin Ning didn't have time to argue with Tang Chuan. She opened the door and called for the nurse. When the nurse came in, she took a look and said, It's okay. It's just a rolling needle. You can use the other hand. All of you get out. I'm not doing it. I'm leaving the hospital in a bit. Tang Chuan was also angry. You and Suyu are really good friends. I heard that Suyu has a bad temper, but it seems like you're even worse than him, Qin Ning said. If you don't want to see me, you can leave, Tang Chuan said angrily. I'm not leaving. You don't own the hospital. It's none of your business, Qin Ning said deliberately. Tang Chuan, Qin Ning, are you a 3-year-old? Tang Chuan looked at her angrily. No, I'm an adult in my 20s, but I'm willing to do what children do. This is called finding the lost innocence. Qin Ning raised her chin and looked at him provocatively. What do you think? Qin Ning had a what can you do to me look on her face. Tang Chuan was completely defeated. After the nurse watched the 2 people in front of her torture each other, she quietly left without saying a word. 10 minutes later, under Qin Ning's stern gaze, Tang Chuan pierced his other hand. In exchange, Qin Ning sat on the edge of the bed and fed him porridge. Hey Tang Chuan, how did you know that I watched the video Qin Ning gave me? Qin Ning was angry just now, so she didn't pay attention to these details. But now that she thought about it carefully, she didn't tell him that Qin Ning came looking for her, nor did she tell him about the video. But why did he seem to know everything? My divine foresight. Don't talk nonsense. Tell me the truth. Hey, I did find out. Seeing how strange you were, I knew something was wrong. I checked your schedule that day and knew that you met Jining. Then I went to find her and found the video on her phone. And then, hearing that Tang Chuan went to find Jining, Qin Ning's heart was still slightly jealous. Chapter 2660. Then I beat her up. You actually hit a woman? Qin Ning looked at him in disbelief. Come on, that's not a normal woman, okay? Plus, everyone has a bottom line. You're my bottom line, but she kept on doing it. I've tolerated it for a long time. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she can commit murder and arson. If she's forgiven, wouldn't the world be a mess? Tang Chuan rolled his eyes. Qin Ning thought about it carefully and felt that what he said made sense. Didn't you feel bad when you hit her? Babe, don't mess around. If I felt bad, why would I hit her? Plus, I didn't hit her. Let me correct you, I beat her up, Tang Chuan said shamelessly as he ate his porridge. But you win. Qin Ning looked helpless. Inside his office, Huamin picked up his notebook and was about to go check on the situation. Just then, Qinjie walked in and said, Chief, there's a forensic doctor from the city bureau. He said he wants to examine Dr. Lu Zai's injuries. You should go take a look. Really? I'll go take a look. Knowing that Lin Mingyu was here, Huamin was a little excited. After all, this was a key piece of evidence that could prove Su Yu's innocence. She hurriedly put on her white coat and went downstairs. Lin Mingyu was just in front of Lu Zai's room. Forensic Dr. Lin. Vice Director Hua. Lin Mingyu spoke in a formal tone. An assistant followed behind him with the necessary equipment in his hands. Thank you for coming. Huamin sincerely expressed his gratitude. You're welcome, Vice Director. It's my job. Let's go. Lin Mingyu pushed the door open and walked in. Lu Zai was watching the morning news. He was a little annoyed when he saw strangers barging in. Who are you? Who let you in? Lu Zai's temper was not small either. Let me introduce myself. I'm a forensic doctor specially hired by the city bureau, Lin Mingyu. Forensic doctor? Why are you looking for me? Aren't you supposed to work with corpses? I'm not dead yet. Did you walk into the wrong room? Lu Zai scolded. I asked him to come, Huamin said seriously as he walked out from behind. Well, Vice Principal, what do you mean by this? Why did you find a forensic doctor for no reason? I need to focus on recuperating now, do you understand? I know, but I think there are still many suspicious points in this case, so I invited Dr. Lin to examine your injuries. Injury examination? Are you kidding me? Don't tell me that this kind of thing isn't done by our hospital? Why do we need a forensic doctor? Lu Zai smirked coldly, his face full of disdain. Of course our hospital can do it, but we don't have the authority of medical examiner Lin. Nonsense, I'm not accepting any medical examination. Get out. Lu Zai had lost his patience. You have no right to refuse unless you cancel the charges against Su Yu, Huamin said righteously. Tease? Vice President, I'm the one who sued your sweetheart. Are you worried? Are you anxious? Huamin heard his words, but he did not get angry. He just looked at him quietly. Lin Mingyu took out a certificate from his briefcase and threw it on the bed in front of Lu Zai. What is this? He asked. This is the certificate of injury examination from the city bureau. I'm following the orders of the bureau's director to examine your injuries. You better cooperate, Lin Mingyu said bluntly. You think you can prove Su Yu's innocence by examining his injuries? You're too naive, Lu Zai sneered. Medical examiner Lin's time is precious. Dr. Lu, you'd better cut the crap and cooperate with us. Don't say such shameless things to me after the results are out, Huamian said calmly. Chapter 2661. Lu Zai always thought that his method was foolproof. Even if the wound was examined again, no one would be able to tell anything. After that night when he was stabbed by the mysterious man, Lu Zai wanted to frame Su Yu even more. So he made up his mind and stabbed the wound with his own fruit knife. Therefore, the wound on the surface was caused by the fruit knife. When Lu Zai used the fruit knife, he wore a water mask so that no fingerprints were left behind. After Su Yu entered the room, he instinctively picked up the bloody fruit knife and became the culprit. Lu Zai's method was vicious. Doctors only looked at the surface of the wound and would not look too deeply into it. As a forensic doctor, Lin Mingyu was very strict and took care of many details well. Moreover, he was a forensic doctor specially hired by the city bureau. This was why Huamin came to him. Lu Zhe cooperated and stayed still. Lin Mingyu's assistant took out all the necessary equipment. Lin Mingyu put on a mask and gloves and began to examine the wound. Huamin stood aside and watched quietly. At the same time, he had to endure Lu Zhe's mockery and contempt. Vice President, tell me, why is your life so good? There are so many men who are head over heels for you. Logically speaking, your looks aren't that great and your personality isn't that gentle. Could it be, because your skills in bed are good, that's why men can't resist you? Lu Zhe wanted to avenge Xiao Xia so much that his mind was clouded by hatred. Therefore he didn't hate Huamin at first. However, because he wanted to help Suyu, he suddenly hated him. Therefore, the words that came out of his mouth were extremely unpleasant. Huamin already knew what he was thinking. He didn't want to argue with him. His face was calm and he had no intention of refuting. However, Lin Mingyu couldn't take it anymore. He subconsciously pressed hard on Lu Zhe's wound. Aya, what are you doing? Don't you know how to be gentle? Lu Zhe turned around and glared at Lin Mingyu. You're a man. Why are you acting like a woman? If all the men in our country were like you, when we fought against the US and aided North Korea on the battlefield, wouldn't we have been laughed at by the US military? Really he. Mr. Forensic Doctor, have I offended you in any way? Lu Zhe asked straightforwardly as he noticed Lin Mingyu's bad attitude. Oh. Then why do I feel like you have something against me? Lu Zhe narrowed his eyes at Lin Mingyu. You're worrying too much. I've always done things by the book. Lin Mingyu's tone was completely formulaic. Lu Zhe couldn't do anything about it. His wound was hurting him and he wasn't in the mood to continue scolding Huamin. With Huamin's EQ, she could tell that Lin Mingyu had purposely hurt Lu Zhe because he was mocking her. Huamin suddenly felt that although Lin Mingyu looked cold, he actually had a good heart. Unfortunately, they couldn't be friends anymore. Huamin wasn't a saint either. She wasn't going to be friends with every man who liked her. That would be unfair to Mr. Qin. Suyu, on the other hand, was an exception. To Huamian, Suyu was her and the twins' savior. Over the past few years, they owed each other a great debt of gratitude. She would never forget how the Su family extended a helping hand and took her in when she was at her most difficult time. 20 minutes later. Okay, it's done. Lin Mingyu took off his mask and let out a sigh of relief. Lu Zhe rolled up his sleeves impatiently. Dr. Lin, what's the result? Huamin looked at Lin Mingyu anxiously. Chapter 2662. Let's talk outside. Why do we have to talk outside? Do you guys have some kind of secret? Why don't we talk here? When Lu Zhe heard that Lin Mingyu wanted to talk outside, he felt guilty for some reason. Therefore, he wanted to announce the results here. Lin Mingyu glanced at Huamin, waiting for her opinion. Then let's announce it here. I believe in Dr. Lin's fairness. Huamin nodded. Lin Mingyu took off his gloves and said slowly, Vice Director Hu's guess is correct. There is indeed something wrong with his wound. What do you mean? Speak clearly. Don't try to slander me. Lu Zhe continued to yell. The knife wound that injured his tendons and veins was not caused by a fruit knife. If I'm not mistaken, it was caused by a limited edition military dagger produced by a German factory in 1997. That dagger was extremely sharp and could cut through iron like mud. The person who injured him was after his life. What nonsense are you talking about? Lu Zhe's expression changed. Don't be hasty. I'm not done yet. On the surface of the wound, there is a superficial wound caused by a fruit knife. However, the fruit knife's wound is very shallow. It's not enough to cut through the tendons. Very good. Huamin nodded in satisfaction. It seemed that her guess was correct. But you can't say that Suyu isn't guilty just because he didn't cut my tendons. He tried to hurt me with a knife, so he's guilty of attempted murder. Lu Zhe was adamant that Suyu wanted to hurt him. Lin Mingyu glanced at Lu Zhe coldly and continued, that's the crux of the problem. Even though Suyu's fingerprints were on the fruit knife, Suyu didn't do it. That's impossible. How can you clear his name? There were only the two of us in the room. If he didn't do it, then did I do it myself? Lu Zhe refused to back down. That's right. You did it yourself. Don't forget that the angle and strength you use to cut yourself is completely different from the angle and strength other people use to cut you. I've been a forensic doctor for many years and have seen hundreds of thousands of knife wounds. I can do an experiment to verify this point, Lin Mingyu said calmly. You're lying. You've wronged me. Lu Zhe panicked. I've never wronged myself. I'm a qualified forensic doctor. Alright, Dr. Lin, I have a rough idea of the results. Thank you for your hard work. You're welcome. It's what I should do. I'll go back to the city bureau to write a report and submit it. Okay, let's talk later. Huamin politely said goodbye to Lin Mingyu. After Lin Mingyu left with his assistant, Huamin returned to the ward. Don't think that just a few words from a forensic doctor will be enough to clear Su Yu's name. It's not that simple. Lu Zhe refused to admit defeat. Huamin only smiled faintly. What are you laughing at? Lu Zhe knew that Huamin was famous for being calm and quick-witted, so when she smiled like that he felt a chill run down his spine. Let's not talk about this for now. Let's talk about the past. Lu Zhe didn't say anything. He simply glanced at Huamin. Your girlfriend is very pretty, Huamin said. Lu Zhe's expression changed slightly. He couldn't hide the panic in his eyes. What are you talking about? I don't have a girlfriend. The whole world knows that I'm single, Lu Zhe argued. If you say that, what would the late Zhao Xia think? Would she be sad? Lu Zhe's eyes widened as he stared at Huamin, but he couldn't say anything. Chapter 2663. You. Lu Zhe didn't expect Huamin to know so much. You didn't expect this, did you? Huamin smiled faintly. Huamin, you're really smart. Lu Zhe narrowed his eyes and looked at Huamin calmly. He no longer called her the hypocritical vice director. He called her Huamian. This has nothing to do with being smart. If you were more observant you would have noticed. I know Su Yu very well. He would never do something like that and you wouldn't accuse him for no reason. There's only one reason for you to frame him and that's because you hate him to begin with. Lu Zhe was about to speak when Huamin continued. Don't worry, I didn't bring a recording pen and I won't record our conversation. I wouldn't do such a low-level thing. So you can talk to me casually. You don't have to be so careful. Hey, I believe you. Your character is guaranteed. When did you find out? Lu Zhe asked with a smile. Not long ago. To be honest, I was surprised at first. I didn't expect you to be Zhao Xia's boyfriend. Huamin looked at Lu Zhe calmly. You know, Yaya? When Zhao Xia was mentioned, Lu Zhe's eyes unconsciously became gentle. No, I don't know her. But when she got into trouble, I was coincidentally outside Su Yu's mansion. Although I didn't meet her directly, I indirectly became Su Yu's witness and proved his innocence. Lu Zhe's eyes became gloomy. He looked at Huamin with slight hatred. Yeah, how could I forget? Yaya wanted to use her death to avenge her sister and ruin Su Yu's reputation. But because you testified, Yaya died in vain. Huamin, how could you and Su Yu live in peace after all these years? Lu Zhe was agitated. Although Zhao Xia's death had happened more than 4 years ago, it felt like it happened just yesterday. Lu Zhe, let me correct you. I'm not trying to shirk responsibility. Zhao Xia's death had nothing to do with me. She did it because she wanted to avenge her sister. She didn't do anything wrong, but what she did was a little extreme. Plus, did you really investigate why Su Yu sent Zhao Qingya to prison? Huamin stared at Lu Zhe. Lu Zhe didn't say anything. What Zhao Qingya did at that time was beyond human morality. If I didn't retaliate, I would be a complete coward. So, Zhao Qingya didn't go to prison on purpose. She deserved it. In a country there are laws that must be obeyed. When a person makes a mistake they should be punished accordingly. So whether it's Zhao Qingya or Zhao Xia, their fate can't be blamed on Su Yu. You're Su Yu's friend. Of course you have to speak up for Su Yu. Lu Zhe was a little angry. No, this isn't about friends. I'm looking at this from a fair point of view. Fair? There's no such thing as fairness in this world. To me, the moment Yaya died, my world had already collapsed. Lu Zhe was devastated. So, you're willing to sacrifice your future to avenge a dead person no matter the cost? Huamin looked at Lu Zhe sympathetically. Chapter 2664. Huamin, you're not me, so you won't feel the same way. Something happened to Qin Chu, you'd probably want to destroy the whole world, right? Lu Zhe sneered. Yes, you're right. I love Mr. Qin very much. Something happened to him, I'd want the whole world to die with him. But, that's just a thought, I won't do it. I won't implicate the innocent. I'm deeply sorry about Zhao Xia's death, but if you want to make Suyu the scapegoat because of this, then I'm sorry, but you've miscalculated. It seems like I'm not as good as you. That's why I failed. I thought it was because my plan was meticulous enough. Lu Zhe said regretfully. You're very meticulous, but I'm also a doctor. It's normal for people to make mistakes. You're smart, but sometimes you're too smart for your own good. Even if Dr. Lin didn't come to examine your wounds today, I still have a way to prove Lu Zhe's innocence. That's not why I came to talk to you today. I have a more important question to ask you. Huamin crossed his arms and walked closer to Lu Zhe's bedside. Lu Zhe raised his head and looked into Huamin's clear eyes. Who did that fatal stab? Huamin asked. I really don't know. I didn't see the person's face clearly, Lu Zhe replied. Judging by his expression, he didn't seem to be lying. Huamin frowned slightly. That's strange. You just came back not long ago and don't have any enemies. Who would want you dead? The neighborhood I live in is famous for being rich. Could it be a robber? Lu Zhe guessed. But nothing was stolen from your house. Plus, your neighborhood has always been very safe. How powerful would the robber have to be able to cut off your security system, follow you upstairs, and then kill you? I think he wanted you dead. Now that you mention it, I remember that he said he didn't want money, he just wanted me dead. Lu Zhe suddenly recalled the conversation he had with the mysterious person that day. Think carefully. Do you have any enemies? I really don't. That's strange. Anyway, you should be careful. Huamin's expression was serious. It doesn't matter. I thought I could slowly trip Suyu and then I'd be able to answer to Yaya. You're so silly. I think that if you and Zhao Xia were truly in love, she would want you to live well. Of life is precious because we only have one chance. This isn't a game where you can revive or restart after you die. You don't have to persuade me. I won't give up my revenge just because of your words. Dr. Lu, you're thinking too much. I don't have the heart of a saint to persuade you or influence you. I'm just stating facts. It doesn't matter to me whether you listen to me or not. I won't give up on revenge. Even if Suyu escapes this time, I'll go after him in the future. Up to you, but if you insist on appealing this time, you have to think carefully. Once Suyu clears his name, he'll immediately sue you for framing him. Then you'll be the one in jail. Lu Zhe didn't say anything after hearing this. Okay, I've said enough for today. Think about the rest. Then Huamin turned around and walked out. Huamin, I'm so jealous of Suyu, Lu Zhe suddenly said fiercely. Huamin stopped in his tracks. He knew that Lu Zhe had more to say. Chapter 2665. Why would I be jealous of Suyu? Huamin wondered if it was because of Suyu's status as a prince. Was it because of power and money? Because he has a friend who treats him the way you do, Lu Zhe said slowly. Huamin opened her mouth but didn't know what to say. She had heard a lot of compliments, but hearing Lu Zhe's acknowledgement of her in a situation like this was a strange feeling. Before Huamin could say anything, Lu Zhe continued. Before I came back to China, I heard someone say something interesting. What was it? Huamin turned around. Whoever gets Huamin wins the world, he said. Huamin, so shouldn't you be jealous of my husband Qin Chu? Huamin asked back. No, Qin Chu has already reached a point where I can't be jealous of him. You've known him since you were young, how can your friendship be compared to others? The reason I'm jealous of Suyu is because out of all the suitors around you, some failed to confess and were rejected, some were secretly in love and didn't dare to say it out loud, and some schemed but didn't even get a smile from you. Only Suyu was able to confess his feelings to you, and he was able to be your friend and quietly stay by your side for 4 years. Most importantly, when something happened to him, you were the first one to stand up for him. It's enough to have a friend like you in my life. Lu Zhe's eyes were filled with envy and jealousy as he spoke. Huamin finally understood what he was trying to say. In the end, Huamin didn't say anything and turned around to leave the room. On her way back to her office, she took out her phone and suddenly posted something on her WeChat friend circle. I heard that whoever gets Huamin wins the world, but do you think the world is that easy to get? Zhu Lingling, you little joker, you're in a good mood today. You actually posted something on your WeChat friend circle. Gao Ran replied to Zhu Lingling, honey, pay attention to your image as the director's wife. Huamin replied to the poster above, You two go home and flaunt your love. There's no charge here. Jishin, sis, does that mean I was born with half the world? I grew up with you. Huamin replied to Jishin, of course. Therefore you have to burn incense and kowtow to be thankful that you are my younger brother. Tang Chuan, sister-in-law is mighty and domineering, nothing wrong with that. Qin Ning replied to Tang Chuan, don't flatter me. This is Little Bean's specialty. Little Bean replied to Qin Ning, Auntie, I got shot while I was taking a dump. Can you not mention me all of a sudden? I feel so wronged. Pudding, in my opinion, the moment I was born I could easily own the world. Huamin replied, Wah. Jiang Xiaowei, it's so lively today. Looks like Mian is in a good mood today. Huamin replied to Jiang Xiaowei, of course it's done. Jiang Xiaowei replied to Huamin, Mian is so cool. That's awesome, huh? Huamin replied to Jiang Xiaowei, I really have to thank Lin Mingyu in person later. Zhu Lingling, what are you two talking about? I don't understand a single word. Huamin replied to Zhu Lingling, you'll understand soon. At this moment, Qin Chu was in a cafe, listening to Zhang Manlin's report on Hua Xiqian's recent situation. Zhang Manlin was talking excitedly, but Qin Chu wasn't in the mood to listen. He lowered his head and played with his phone. When he saw Huamin's post he couldn't help but laugh. Just as he was about to comment he suddenly remembered that they were still pretending to be in a Cold War. Therefore he had no choice but to hold back and send Huamin a private message. It's not easy to get the world. That's why I struggled for so many years. Chapter 2666. Upon seeing this, Huamin laughed out loud. So, you're thanking me for your hard work? I wouldn't dare, I'm just stating facts. So, the man who has the world, do you have anything to say to me right now? Thank you to my party, thank you to CCTV, thank you to my mother-in-law for having a good daughter, thank you to my daughter for having a good mother. Ha ha. Huamin laughed out loud when he saw this. Chief, are you okay? Chen Jia was shocked when she came in to deliver the documents. She rarely saw Huamin laugh like this. I'm fine, I'm fine. Huamin waved his hand. Then she immediately replied to Qin Chu, Honey, what's wrong with you today? Why are you so funny? I used to be like this too, Mr. Qin said proudly. You didn't. You used to be so serious. Your aura was so cold that it could freeze people. Suspect. I'm chatting with a fake husband. Huamian, you've been quite grumpy lately. I've always been grumpy. It's not like you don't know me well. Okay, eat your food, I'll stop talking. Qin Chu didn't dare to text Huamin too often. So after a few words they stopped talking. However, upon seeing how happy Qin Chu was with his head down, Zhang Manlin couldn't help but ask. President Qin, what's making you so happy? Continue. The moment Qin Chu looked up, his face returned to its usual coldness. He said he's going to marry Yen Ruoshi, it's true. What's the purpose of marriage? Qin Chu raised his eyebrows. He said he's going to use Yen Ruoshi's father's power to expand his business and try to beat you in business. Zhang Manlin said slowly. Are you sure? Qin Chu looked at Zhang Manlin in confusion. He told me himself. I'm not lying to you, President Qin, Zhang Manlin explained anxiously. What's the rush? Did I say I don't believe you? I just think that Hua Xiqian didn't do things like this in the past. Defeating me in business is a little cowardly. Maybe he wants to change his strategy, Zhang Manlin argued. Alright, I understand. Then, can we eat now? I'm starving. Zhang Manlin smiled like a blooming flower. Eat by yourself. I still have things to do. After that, Qin Chu took out his wallet and took out 100 yuan bills and placed them on the table. Then he got up and left. Qin Chu? Zhang Manlin looked at Qin Chu's back with disappointment. When Huamin is no longer by your side, you'll know how good I am. But, Zhang Manlin, I'll make you fall in love with me sooner or later. I don't believe that you won't fall in love with me when I'm prettier and younger than Huamin. After Qin Chu left, Zhang Manlin was no longer in the mood to eat. She picked up the money, paid the bill and left in a hurry. Late at night outside the Hua mansion. Miss Yen, why are you here? Oh, I couldn't sleep at home. I suddenly thought of some wedding details and wanted to discuss it with Qian. Miss Yen, you should go back. The boss isn't seeing any guests today. Am I a guest? I'm the woman who's going to marry him. I'll be your boss's wife. Yen Ruoshi was a little angry. Miss Yen, I'm not trying to make it difficult for you, but you really can't. Big brother Ching said so, really. Ching? Ask him to come out. Miss Yen, I'm here. Ching walked out with a strange expression on his face. I want to see Qian. Tell your men to get out of the way. Yen Ruoshi had a temper. No, the boss isn't seeing any guests right now. Ching's tone was very firm, which surprised Yen Ruoshi. Chapter 2667. Ching, how dare you look down on me like this? Yen Ruoshi had never been humiliated like this before. Hua Xiqian didn't even bother to talk to her. But now even Hua Xiqian's dog was being so arrogant. As the mayor's daughter, Yen Ruoshi was enraged. I'm not looking down on you, Miss Yen. Ching's tone was serious and his face was stern. Then let me in. No. Do you believe that I'll ask my daddy to charge you with something and kill you? Yen Ruoshi cursed. Ching was silent. Yen Ruoshi walked toward the door directly, but Ching stopped her with a firm grip. Miss Yen, I'm doing this for your own good. I hope you know what's best for you. Ching glared at Yen Ruoshi. For my own good? I don't need you to do this for me. Yen Ruoshi said angrily. No, I can't let you in at this time. Miss Yen, I'm just a subordinate and I have to listen to my boss. Please don't make things difficult for us. Okay, let's go. Really, we're doing this for your own good. Ching looked helpless. He didn't know how such a stupid woman like Yen Ruoshi could exist in this world. Although he didn't like Mo Shui, her EQ and IQ were much better than Yen Ruoshi's. Seeing that Ching wouldn't let her in, Yen Ruoshi suddenly had an idea and shouted upstairs. Qian, Hua Xiqian, Miss Yen, do you want to die? Ching's expression changed. Qian, I want to go in. Make them go away. Yen Ruoshi ignored Ching's warning and continued to yell at the top of her lungs. Ching didn't care about his manners and covered Yen Ruoshi's mouth with his hand, trying to stop her from making any noise. Yen Ruoshi had a bad temper and bit Ching's hand between his thumb and index finger. Ching screamed and let go of his hand. Yen Ruoshi took advantage of Ching's distraction and ran upstairs. Miss Yen, come back. You can't go. Ching frowned. No matter how hard he tried to warn her, Yen Ruoshi wouldn't listen. She was determined to see Hua Xiqian and she had to see him. Ching covered his wound and was about to rush forward to pull Yen Ruoshi down. At the end of the corridor on the second floor, a cold voice suddenly sounded. Let her come up. Boss. Ching seemed to be scared. All of you leave. All right. Ching refused to take another step forward. Yen Ruoshi walked forward proudly. However, she suddenly stopped in her tracks. Just now, the person who spoke, was that Hua Xiqian? If that wasn't the case, Ching wouldn't have called him boss and listened to him. But if it was Hua Xiqian, why did his voice sound different from usual? His voice was usually mellow and gentle, but just now his voice was clearly a little hoarse and even a little piercing at the end. The corridor on the second floor was dimly lit. At the end of the corridor was the place where the voice came from. It was the room Hua Xiqian usually didn't let her go near. She didn't know what was in there. Now that she felt that she was walking down step by step, she suddenly felt a little regretful. Ching was so against her coming up. Could it be that he was really different from usual? Yen Ruoshi approached step by step. When she reached the door, she realized that it was open. She felt a chill down her spine and her scalp started to tingle. At this moment, she suddenly regretted coming up. Chapter 2668. Qian, are you in there? Yen Ruoshi asked weakly when she reached the door. But there was no response. She walked in carefully and found that the lights were dim. It was an empty house. Except for the gray walls, there was nothing. Yen Ruoshi walked in slowly and looked at the walls. Suddenly, she found that there were scratches on the walls. The scratches looked like they were made by a ferocious beast. Seeing this, she felt like she was going to suffocate. She was about to cry. Qian, come out. I'm so scared. Yen Ruoshi's voice trembled slightly. Suddenly, she heard the sound of a door closing behind her. Yen Ruoshi was so scared that she leaned against the wall and didn't dare to move. Then the secret door on the opposite wall opened, and she watched as a black, furry creature walked out with ferocious movements. It was about 1 meter tall and exuded a bloodthirsty aura. Yen Ruoshi's eyes widened. She opened her mouth but couldn't say a word. She felt that it was a wolf. A lone wolf with black fur all over its body and a fierce look in its eyes. The wolf walked toward her step by step with a creepy smile in its eyes. It licked its lips and looked at Yen Ruoshi as if it was looking at a sumptuous dinner. Now she finally knew why Aching wouldn't let her come up here. Huasiqian had such a ferocious animal. She had known him for several years, but this was the first time she saw it. Qianqian. She whispered Huasiqian's name, hoping that he would appear and save her from this predicament. But she didn't get any response. Yen Ruoshi had never felt so close to death in her life. Especially when she looked into the wolf's eyes, she was dumbfounded and her mind went blank. What last words? What life experiences? She didn't even have time to think about anything. Suddenly the lone wolf howled, raised its front paws and pounced on her. It was so fast. Yen Ruoshi screamed and closed her eyes, feeling like she was going to die in the wolf's belly. Right at this moment, a whistle was blown. The lone wolf suddenly stopped, turned around and obediently walked in the other direction. Yen Ruoshi opened her eyes and found that the wolf had changed direction. On the other side of the wolf, under the window, stood a man. He was wearing a black trench coat and holding a lighter in his hand. Under the moonlight she could see his figure and silhouette, but she couldn't see his face. "Qian, is that you?" she asked. The lighter was ignited with a bang. Taking advantage of the light, the man turned his head. Yen Ruoshi was so scared that her face was pale. The man had the same face as Huasiqian, but there were two thick black lines under his eyes. She didn't know if they were tattoos or something. In short, it looked especially terrifying. In the darkness of the night, it was like a malicious spirit making people feel terrified. "The mayor's daughter, Yen Ruoshi, right?" he asked. His voice was so hoarse that it made one's hair stand on end. Who are you? Where's Qianqian?" Yen Ruoshi was scared out of her wits. "Are you going to ask Huasiqian? He's not here." "Then, where did he go?" Yen Ruoshi asked nervously. "Every time I come out he disappears." The man smiled evilly. Chapter 2669. What do you mean? What do you mean, he disappeared when you came out? What did you do to Qianqian? Yen Ruoshi was confused by his words. "You seem to be quite infatuated with him." "Huh?" The man laughed coldly. "Wait, Aching and the others called you boss. Wait, what's going on?" Yen Ruoshi suddenly realized that if the man in front of her wasn't Huasiqian, Aching and the others wouldn't call him boss. Did Huasiqian have a twin brother? That didn't make sense. Yen Ruoshi was dumbfounded. The wolf next to Huasiqian bared its fangs at Yen Ruoshi, eager to pounce. The atmosphere was terrifying. Yen Ruoshi felt that she could become the beast's dinner at any moment. "No, you're not Huasiqian. Are you possessed by a ghost?" Yen Ruoshi's eyes widened as she looked at the man in front of her. Other than his appearance, this man didn't look like Huasiqian at all. His temperament was different, his clothes were different, and even his voice was different. Yet he appeared in the Hua family mansion. Who on earth could tell her what was going on? Yen Ruoshi felt that she shouldn't stay here any longer. She turned around and ran toward the door, wanting to rush out. The man looked coldly at her, running back, and smiled viciously. "Little wolf, go play with her." After receiving the order, the wolf rushed out and went straight for Yen Ruoshi. It pounced from behind and bit Yen Ruoshi's clothes. Help! Yen Ruoshi was scared out of her wits. She felt that she was going to die. However, the wolf didn't bite her artery. It just tore at her clothes. It seemed to be teasing her. Yen Ruoshi fell to the ground from the force of the wolf's bite. Then the wolf pounced on her. Its sharp claws pinned her to the ground. She didn't dare to move. Just like that, one person and one wolf played a cruel game in the dark secret room. Yen Ruoshi was scared out of her wits. The wolf didn't eat her, nor did it bite her to death. Instead, it scratched her with its sharp claws from time to time. His entire body was throbbing with pain. Visually, he still had to watch the beast pounce on him. Mentally, she had already broken down. All that was left was heart-wrenching screams, the howls of the wolves, and Huasiqian's cold laughter. Downstairs, his subordinates didn't dare to move. Listening to the woman's voice upstairs, they could only express deep sympathy. "Brother Qing, could Miss Yen have been?" one of his men asked. Qing shook his head. "I'm not sure. I can never guess what the boss is thinking at this moment. Then should we think of a way to save her?" "Save her? Are you kidding me? The current boss is no longer the same boss as before. If things go wrong, we might even lose our lives. In the past few years, Audiobook had seen Huasiqian in this state a few times. He seemed to know the pattern, so he didn't dare to act rashly. He had repeatedly warned Yen Ruoshi not to go upstairs, but what did she do? This woman reaped what she sowed. Who was to blame? After some time, Huasiqian walked downstairs with a half-mask on his face. Boss. His subordinates were so scared that they trembled. Audiobook was also very nervous. Boss, are you going out? The woman in the room. Throw her back to where she came from. Yes. Right now. I have more important things to do. After speaking, Huasiqian quickly left the old mansion. Chapter 2670. Southside Recuperation Center. Although Lu Zhe hadn't withdrawn the charges against Suyu, Huamin believed that Suyu was basically fine. She planned to go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau tomorrow to see him and tell him that the matter was resolved. When Qinjia left, she sent over the list of new patients in the neurology department. Huamin happened to be on the night shift and had nothing to do, so she took the information and read it. It was already 11 o'clock at night. The hospital was also very quiet, especially in the doctor's office. Only Huamin's office was still faintly lit. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew and the windows were blown open, making a patter sound. Huamin turned her head, glanced at it, and calmly got up. She was about to close the window, but the moment her hand touched the window, a face appeared. A half-masked face suddenly appeared. Under the illumination of the moonlight, it looked especially pale. He smiled eerily and said to her, Huamin, we finally meet again. With a clang, Huamin's phone fell to the ground in fright. She stepped back in fear and then turned around and ran. She was too familiar with this feeling. A few years ago, on a dark and rainy night at the GK Corporation, she chased after him. She had been chased by such a person. In the end, she hid in the office and was scared out of her wits. Now that this feeling suddenly appeared, Huamin's first reaction and instinct was to run. Run as far as she could. That man in black was chasing after her. Huamin felt that the footsteps were getting closer and closer, as if that person was going to catch up to her soon. Fortunately, she was familiar with the structure of the hospital. So she didn't run into a dead end. Because there were surveillance cameras in the corridor. So Huamin ran and shouted, "Help, someone help me." However, what she didn't know was that this person had already tampered with the surveillance cameras at Southside before he came. He adjusted the video to a static state. The security guards in the security room yawned sleepily. Everything was normal as they watched the surveillance video. At this moment, no one knew what Huamin was experiencing. Huamin, you seem to be very afraid of me? The man behind her laughed creepily. Because it was too late to run to the first floor, the stairs were too steep. If he chose to go down, he would be easily caught. Therefore, when Huamin reached the fork in the road, he gritted his teeth and ran towards the rooftop. Hee. This is going to be fun. The man seemed to be very familiar with the structure of the hospital. After laughing coldly, he chased Huamin all the way to the rooftop. Late at night, the cold wind whistled on the rooftop of Southside. Huamin knew that they were already on the top floor. There was nowhere to run. Fortunately, she still had the anesthetic needle on her to protect herself. She cleverly hid the needle in the sleeve of her white coat, planning to find an opportunity to attack. But why aren't you running anymore? The man laughed. Huamin turned around. She was panting but didn't say anything. The 12th floor, If I jump, Qinchu, Suyu and Huasiqian will be very sad. What should I do? He laughed. Huasiqian, I know it's you. Don't play tricks with me, Huamin said calmly. Huasiqian. Oh no, I'm not him. You've got it wrong. I'm not as useless as him. If I came out earlier, you would have been mine long ago. I wouldn't have waited all these years for you. Hearing his words, Huamin suddenly understood. Could it be that Huasiqian's second personality had come out? This was too fucking unlucky. You're tuning in to the Biao's Wuxiao Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.